Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. Hope you're well. I picked up some of this olive oil this week because this plate was really annoying me. It was fine to print on, but I found that it was kind of stopping my imagination, my thought process, because I was distracted by these marks. And while some of it was lifting off with paint, not enough of it was. So obviously this is sped up footage. I got some baby oil and gave it a rub down. Of course you can't do this with the homemade plate. This is only with these synthetic plates that you can add oil like this to. And you might be able to see in the oil there, it is definitely picking up the graphite, and in fact it cleans it up absolutely amazingly. I understand this isn't riveting footage, but I wanted to show you. It took me about 15 minutes of rubbing to get it all cleared up, and it was interesting. It was very slippery because of the oil, and then it would grab, and that's when the graphite was lifting off. And so I could definitely feel where the graphite still was. Even when I couldn't really see it, I could feel it. Of course, your fingertips are such a sensitive part of the body that you can really feel the difference. And I was pressing quite firmly, really. I definitely wouldn't press this firm on a homemade plate. These plates, this is a gel press plate, and it can really take some pressure. When the graphite was grabbing, I was worried I was tearing the plate, but it's come out unscathed and absolutely clean, and I'm really thrilled. So if you have a plate, I've seen this work also with paint, not just with the graphite. So if you are wondering, definitely you can use baby oil to clean up your gel plate. You can see just a little bit of the graphite left there, so I do go ahead and I decide, because it's working so well, I may as well have it absolute super clean and brand new. And yeah, it was really interesting just how I think this system would just take anything off these plates, actually, with how well this has worked. So yeah, my hand got pretty tired. It was 15 minutes of good rubbing, but I've got a brand new plate again. And some of those marks you can see there are just on the paper that it is resting on. And there we go, no trace of graphite at all on the plate. So just to finish off, because there is that oil there, I've put a little bit of paper and I've stored it with this paper on it so it can soak up. Yes, there's the Johnson's regular baby oil, and I just put a piece of paper over to help soak up any excess oil, and that'll be ready for printing. After the success of last week's painting, I decided I wanted to have a lot more backgrounds with the checkered tapestry type squares. And I'm going away in a few weeks for a mini break down to the ocean, which is something I like to do. Something about being near water, even in the winter time, that's so nourishing and rejuvenating. So this is a sketchbook that I always take away with me, and so I'm just gridding up 1 centimetre squares. and then going ahead and painting in each individual square with that same colour palette that I've been using. I'm using the scraper tool here, and it's just not delivering the paint the way I'm used to at all. I guess it is a scraper and not a paintbrush, and so I give up on that and I do change over to a paintbrush, and it works much better. So the plan is with these is to have ready-made pages for when I go away ready to paint over. I've realised I really paint better when I'm painting over layers, and you can see there just how much paint I'm overusing, because I've come from working on a big canvas down to working on a little page, and I haven't quite adjusted yet. I do get a handle on it in a moment. But yeah, these pages, I prep a whole lot of pages in preparation for this trip, and I also wanted to clean the gel plate because I wanted to have some papers, some loose papers also to have available to work on while I'm away. I hope to film while I'm there and share it all with you as well, so that's coming up towards the end of the month. So I'm just being fairly random, still using predominantly blues and greens for the sky area and more land colours along the bottom. So that's how that one turned out. I think it's very sweet, almost looks woven. And here's a few of the others that I completed this week. Same sort of thing, a bit more land sky, that one. And yeah, a couple of bigger, these were 2 centimetre squares. Yeah, so there's a few pages prepped, ready to go away. Do you remember these? Regular viewers will recognise these for sure. This one is got quite a good surface going on and there's plenty to respond to, so I'm going to leave this one alone. But this other one is a bit meh, there's really not much information there, and it's not a very alive surface at all. So I get out all of those papers that you saw me using a couple of vlogs ago, and I'm going to stick them on top of that, so they're just works on paper that have a thin Prussian blue wash on them. So again, I'm gridding up, these are 5 centimetre squares, and with the matte medium again because it's what I have to hand. And yeah, I just go ahead and put all of these, fill all of these squares with these gel papers. This took me a lot longer than I thought it would, so I'll spare you and won't show you the whole thing, but I'm being fairly close to the 5 centimetres square, but I'm also not concerned at all if it does overlap. There's some really lovely marks there with using the paper that had the acrylic ink, the paper that I made, and I love the way how gestural those marks are. So I'm thinking I might add more marks. It actually looks really great on its own, but the plan is to do some more work over the top. It's a short one this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week, and I shall see you next week. Bye.